Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Hey. Welcome back to the podcast. Listen, get in here and close the door because I have got to talk to you. Today, we are going to be diving deep into why trying to do it all is leaving you feeling drained
And how embracing the idea that less is more, yes, you heard that right, less, can help you reclaim your time, your energy,
and most of all, your peace of mind. First, I'd actually like to explore where this pressure to do it all even came from. Like, who even decided that we had to be super women? We had to juggle a million roles and act like it was not breaking us down. Who decided that the idea of being this good woman was you have to be the best person at work, you're the most patient and loving partner, you're the most nurturing mom, the most available friend, and the diehard community leader all at once? Who did that? Honestly, this kind of life is not only exhausting, it's super unrealistic. And you know what they say. Anytime that you're trying to be the jack of all trades, you're the master of what? You got it. None. That's why you're walking around right now feeling like you have nothing left to give. We wear busy like it's some type of badge of honor. Literally, I cannot tell you the amount of people who proudly boast, "Oh, I can't. I'm busy today. I wish I could, but I'm busy today." Girl, I don't even know when I'll be able to do it because my calendar is so full. Girl, I don't know when. You know how busy I am. When did that become the flex? Because at the end of the day, if your schedule is so packed with things that don't fulfill you, then is being busy truly something that you need to be bragging about? Do you really need to be bragging about being busy about things that's really not getting you any place you ever wanted to go? A few years ago, I actually started questioning myself on this very topic because I used to be Miss Busy. I felt all important because I was so busy. I had so many things on my plate. But after some reflection, I decided that I wanted to shift my focus from being busy to being productive. I definitely believe in the power of words and what you say. And I was tired all the time. And it came to my awareness that because I was speaking into my life that I was busy, there were just always more things to do. So I decided that I was going to stop saying I'm busy and I was going to start saying I'm productive. Stay with me. I wanted to start doing things that truly mattered, things that were going to make a huge difference in my life, things that were going to actually get me closer to my goals, things that were going to make a world of difference. And it's still something that I practice and implement today. Now, when people call me and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy," I say, "You know what? It was a very productive day for me. I got so much done." And that actually fulfills me because 99% of the time, I have had a full productive day. I have checked things off of my list and I feel so good. So much better than being busy, but never actually getting anything on my to-do list done. I want to share a personal example. I use my words to be intentional about not saying I'm busy. And then I reflect when I'm working on something and I get to decide, is this busy work or is this productive work? So this is me right now, today, 2025. If it's busy work, I decide what can be done with it. Either I'm going to scrap it, I'm going to delegate it, or I'm going to repurpose it into something that's going to make a difference in my day, my week, my year, life. You get it. And a really good example of this is when I'm on social media. A lot of times I actually log into social media with a purpose, but I can get sidetracked and go down rabbit holes real fast. Once I'm scrolling and consuming information, I stop and pause because I remember, is this busy work or is this productive? And I ask myself, am I consuming mindless information? If so, then now, is there something that I need from social media? Was I looking up something? Was I going because I wanted to contribute to the space as a creator? Am I drawing inspiration on something that I need later? Because at the end of the day, what I really do not want to do is mindlessly scroll. For me, that's busy work. Now, for you, that might be entertainment. And if it is, no judgment. I listen and I don't judge. However, if I am going on with the intention of using it for a purpose, then it is my personal goal to be able to turn it into something productive with my time and my output. Again, if it's something that I don't need to be doing, it's busy work, I can scrap it. So moving on to a different perspective, I want to share another story with you. I remember talking to a fellow educator, and we're going to call her Kristen. Kristen was always complaining at work about her being very drained. Kristen's days were filled with teaching, mentoring. She was a volunteer at her church. She was always running errands with her kids. I remember her telling me about chauffeuring them around, how they have to go to like soccer practice. One goes to cheerleading. And she was just tired. She had to do literally and every single thing, even though she had a partner. She was pulling about 90% of the weight and her partner was pulling about 10%. She felt like it was a very unfair predicament. She also felt like she was failing at everything. She couldn't get anything done. She wasn't doing it okay. She was forgetting her kids' appointments. Kids were late to practice. She was barely meeting her demands at work. She was all over the place. And I asked her, I said, Kristen, why have you not just even thought to take a staycation? Like, her spouse worked Monday through Friday, traditional job. So why on Friday, if he doesn't want to go anywhere, do you just not take a staycation? And I'll never forget her reply. She said, because if I'm not at home to do all the things that need to be done, then nobody else will do it. That was really hard to listen to, especially when you know that someone has a partner, that they're feeling like they're single in this relationship. Not only did I feel what she was going through, but I remembered when someone asked me years prior about something similar that I was going through and why was I doing it all. And I remember having that same response because I'm the only person that can do it. Like, no one else is going to do it. And if they do, then I always feel like I have to go back and fix up what they did wrong. And so I might as well have done it the first time myself. And I remember that she replied to me and she said, if you run yourself into the ground doing all of these things to the point where you're no longer able to do anything, even if you wanted to, who's going to be the person to do all the things that you're running around trying to do then? And it really hit me at that time because she was right. If I'm too exhausted to function, not only am I not going to be able to help them, they're going to have to figure out another way to get it done. And that's the question that I want to turn and ask to you today. If you run yourself into the ground, then you're not going to be able to do it. So then who will? Who's going to pick up the slack? Because the truth is someone is. If it's at your work and you can no longer go back to work, they're going to replace you. If it's at home and you can no longer be of service to anybody, they're going to figure out how to get it done. If it's a volunteer role and you decide that you need to take a step back, they're going to replace you. Do you see where I'm going here? In your mind, you're thinking that no one can replace you. But if something happened to you, everybody will replace whatever role you were doing. So with this in mind, really start to notice the things that you can do the things that you can delegate, and the things that you just shouldn't do anymore. Burnout, exhaustion, frustration, all eventually leads you to feeling very angry and resentful either way. And losing sight of who you are happens next. You're doing all of these things. You don't even remember why you were doing it in the first place. You start to resent the people that you're doing it for. You think to yourself, or you may even say out loud, they don't even appreciate all the stuff that I do. You start to undermine your worth because you don't feel like you're getting back in return what you're putting out. You start to spiral down a path that is truly not serving you. And then when you look up one day, you don't even recognize who you are, what path you're on, how you got there, and you most certainly can't figure out how to get anywhere else. Now, I don't want to keep sounding cliche, but I know everyone resonates with the quote, "You can't pour from an empty cup." I can't say it enough. When you put everyone else first, though, that's what's happening. When you're trying to do all the things, and in your mind, you have made up that you're the only person that can take care of it. That's what happens. You're constantly giving, but you're not replenishing yourself. Now, you're smart enough to know that you can't keep going like this, but maybe you feel a little bit trapped. Maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you feel like everyone does depend on you, and guess what? They do, but only because that is a role that you created, but it's also a role that you can disband. It's a role that you can rewrite. It's a role that you can pass along to someone else. Why? Because the cost of you doing it all, it's just simply too high. You need to be able to make conscious choices about where you want to invest your time and your energy so you can get back on track to who you really are and the person you were truly meant to be. Now, you might be sitting there asking yourself, okay, that sounds good, but where do I start, right? So we're going to talk about how to reclaim your power. One thing that I would love for you to embrace is the idea that less is more. This is something that I say to my daughter all the time. I always have to tell her less is more. More does not mean more. Less means more. She gets very confused a lot of the time, but I'm always reminding her, showing her in real time why she should be doing less and the areas that she can do less. And it is an idea that we need to embrace. Some way, somehow, we've gotten on this train that if I do more, I'm going to mean more to someone else. I'm going to be worth more. And it's simply not true. Starting right now, I want you to stop. I want you to breathe deeply. And I want you to repeat, I am enough. I am enough. And again, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Because the truth is, you need to understand that you are enough right now, just as you are. You're enough right now without getting dinner on the table. You're enough right now without showing up for work. You're enough right now without grading papers or completing observation logs. You're enough right now without running your kids to practice. You are enough right now without doing something to make your partner feel valuable while you're not getting anything. You are enough. Now, how are we going to put that into action? Knowing this, you have to start to show up for you. You have to be able to get these insignificant things off your plate. You have to be able to let go of things that do not align with your goals and priorities. You have to be able to say no when you need to. Ask for help when you need to. Give yourself permission to rest and recharge without guilt. That was something that was very hard for me to do. I felt like when I rested, I was being lazy. I felt like there was something that I needed to get up to do, that there was something that I should take care of, that there was, some type of opportunity for me to go do something for someone else. It was very hard for me to relax and rest. Now, oh, she gets her rest and I don't care now. I love to rest now. I can come home from work and take a nap, and I'm going to get up and then I'm going to eat something, and then I'm going to go to the gym. I'm taking care of me, and I have a whole time slot of when that happens. And it actually gives me peace now to be able to do it. Whereas before, I just felt like this lazy, disgusting person and I should have been doing something. But again, it's chipping away at that mindset that I have to be doing something for someone in order to be valuable. No, I don't. I'm valuable just as I am, and so are you. Another thing that I would do is I used to love to take staycations. I still do. It was one of my favorite ways that I would choose to break up the monotony in my life. Sometimes I would book a hotel on a Friday after work on the other side of town, literally close enough for it to be a quick trip, but far enough for me to feel like it was a getaway. I would either not go to work, or I would leave work early and then go check in and plan to relax. My kids would play at the resort and I would simply do what I wanted to do. Even if it was just take a nap or sit around and watch TV or kick my feet up at the pool, really just being who I wanted to be, doing what I wanted to do. Sometimes that meant sneaking in a massage or getting a mani-pedi, ordering room service. It was really just about me doing nothing and not feeling guilty like I had to do something for someone else. I'm on vacation. It was a staycation, but I'm on vacation. And when I'm on vacation, I did not work. So here's my charge to you. Or should I say my homework to you, because that's pretty much what we've been doing every week. But I want you to identify one thing that you can let go of. Like, what is the thing that's draining you the most that you really don't have to do? Who else can do it best, or who has more time than you to do it? Delegate that thing. Find a small replenishing activity. Maybe it's reading, meditation, or simply sitting in silence. I love to read. And when I talk about books that I like to read, there are so many women who say they don't have time to sit and read a good book. But you're the one that controls the calendar. You're the one that can prioritize the book or whatever activity you want to. So find that small replenishing activity that you need and put it on the calendar. Spend a few minutes each morning affirming, I am enough. I am worthy. I don't need to do anything to prove my value. The more you shift your mindset to choose yourself first, the more normal it's going to start to feel. And someday you're going to begin to make sure that you're at the top of the list and you're going to feel great about it. Keep no on your list of things to do regularly. Okay, so we talked about that last week when we discussed boundaries. If you missed that episode, please go back. It was so good. I got so many text messages, emails, phone calls about that episode. Go back. But keep no on your list of things to do. Don't let that word go. It is so powerful and super necessary. By taking these steps, you're going to definitely start to feel a shift in your energy. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more aligned with your true self, and you're going to be able to make space for the things that truly bring you joy and peace. This is not always easy, but I promise you it is always worth it. Before I go, to the person who left my very first review last week, the name was MADUP171. So I was like, is it mad up or is it made up? And I'm hoping that it's made up 171 said, I love this episode. And thank you for the reminder to pour into myself first. Thank you so much. Your words filled my heart with so much joy. I really appreciate you. So thank you for that. And thank you to everyone who rated this podcast. Thank you to everyone who shared. Please keep sharing so we can change more lives. Super excited, and I cannot wait to build this into a large community of women who are simply supporting women. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.